Hello, Andy here, and welcome to another Speedpaint. Today, we are working on a design for a fan art She-Ra poster. I know that I did like a She-Ra video last week, but I just watched the 5th season and have been really excited to do this once I thought of the idea. So, here we are. With the idea. Let's get started with it. So, first of all, I was going to do a big She-Ra first. That there was the idea. And I kind of used a similar pose. I think I just basically flipped the pose from what they use at the end of the intro to it. And used that for the big She-Ra, I say in quotes. And then I have this really fun idea, or at least I think that's fun, where I add a bunch of chibi versions of the characters that I believe to be the most important. I think that might be a good way to put it. Not that I think that the side characters aren't important because everyone played their role in the show. It's just these were the more main characters, antagonists, and the better supporting role characters. So yeah, that there was my decision making behind that. It was basically just based off personal opinion. If you disagree, then cool, we can disagree. Though I would actually be curious to kind of hear someone else's thoughts on it. But anyways, that doesn't really matter at this point in time. I just here finished up with the big She-Ra, so now I'm moving on to Catra using her Season 5 design to make a little chibi version of her. And she's kind of sitting on She-Ra's shoulders, what I initially decided to go for. And then I kind of decided to change it to something more of like she's either like kind of from a lower level, like put her hand on her shoulder, jumped up, or is kind of jumping off, pushing off with her hand, something like that. You'll see what I mean with that pose right there that's on screen now. What she's doing, sure, it's up to you to decide. Is she sitting down, or is she standing, or is she jumping off? Who knows? I don't. Next, I was like, well, we gotta go with Adora. Because, of course, Adora is the main protagonist. And I put her in She-Ra's hair because why not? I can do that. It's allowed. Right there, I just tried to see if it's like, could I just copy Catra's eyes and flip them to see if it would work? And nope, it didn't, so I moved on. Basically what I was trying to do is trying to have the characters just be kind of doing fun things around Big She-Ra. So here I'm having Scorpia just sort of hanging off the sword with her pincers kind of grasping onto the blade of it. Just because I thought it was fun and entertaining. So I should also kind of, I guess, apologize for how long this video took. Like, this drawing itself took like over 5 hours to do, and then every time I went to like sit down and record or like speed up the stuff, it's like I kept getting distracted by loads of other things. Yay for life happening, I guess. But alas, instead of it being up on a Friday, it's going up, I think, on Sunday. Yeah, the day I'm recording this, yeah, I'm gonna upload it after I finish recording this and checking everything to make sure it checks out. But yeah, anyways, moving on. Here we have Bo. Like, what's a fun thing for Bo to do? We're gonna have him kind of just falling through the air, and we're gonna be having Glimmer kind of coming up from behind, grabbing onto him, and catching him. Because that kind of seems like a thing that would have happened. And there we go. Glimmer is basically done at this point. Speed paints surprisingly go quickly. It's kind of weird just seeing how quick that this is moving when it took so long to draw in the first place. It took a couple of days, honestly. Like, I had to stop to do other things. Here we're having Entrapta down in the bottom right corner. As you can kind of see, she's sitting down, and I figured, yeah, she's probably sitting down and holding on to something off screen, and then I'm like, nah, that seems lame. So I changed it to where her hair that kind of moves around and grabs onto stuff is hanging onto the arm of Shira, and she's just kind of swinging on her hair, I guess, while reading some sort of data pad, and has a little bit more of like a serious-ish look on her face, like she's kind of concentrating on what she's doing. It's science and stuff. That's her whole shtick. Like, she's looking at some serious information there. So here I went and erased the lines from Big Shira, combined the layers, so that way that I knew where the lines were, and then kind of popped in a little bit of a background before moving on to final lines. I also kind of in the background added a little bit of a heart between Glimmer and Bow, because of course I had to. There's no reason for me not to. Based off the characters, especially with the ending of season 5, kind of, though that was probably the most obvious thing. Sorry, spoilers. If you haven't seen it or were planning on watching it, I've been trying to avoid those, and I just kind of rambled it out. Whoopsies. Anyways, the final lines went by pretty quickly. I tried to kind of move the characters, like do the chibi characters kind of as I was going along with Shira a little bit, but I don't know. I tried to do it quickly and efficiently. I don't know if it worked, because I don't know. I guess I didn't try it any other ways, so I can't claim it was the most efficient way. Though that doesn't matter. Though at this point, as I was kind of doing final lines, I started thinking to myself, I'm like, the composition of it seems a little empty, especially in the bottom left corner, so I made some changes there afterward, just by popping in another character, and also another character that I really just felt deserved to be there because of the importance in their role through the series. If you've seen it, then you'll probably be able to guess who I put there, but if you haven't, then I'll let you know in a moment once we're done putting in the lines around Scorpia. Yeah, here's kind of where I looked at it and then decided, alright, let's get started on drawing. So, this is probably the most chill the character has ever been in their entire life. But I decided to draw in Shadow Weaver. She is definitely a real bad person. I again will try and avoid spoilers just in case you do want to watch it. She's definitely one of the villains of the series, which is why I said I was adding in those sorts of things. Here I kind of went in, added in the color palettes to all the individual characters, blocked them out, and then started coloring them in. Some colors, it's like I didn't get it quite right, so I went adjusting it sometime, but with all of the flashing and just how quickly that this part goes compared to everything else, because I'm using more of a fill tool, like the bucket tool, it's very hard to tell with those time gaps because everything's moving so quickly. Though Shadow Weaver's mask I did do by hand because I didn't want to add in a bunch of black lines to it, because that's just not how it's drawn in the show. it is quite interesting that all of the characters just have like such a wide variety of a color palette, which is quite fun. Except for, of course, those who are more a part of the villainous factions tend to share the more shades of red and black, but everyone else definitely has more diverse colors and whatnot. Through there, you can kind of saw that I forgot to add in the white areas, so when I colored in the background, it didn't quite work. And then I was just trying to make like a starry kind of background, and I made those swirls to kind of be more like portals and whatnot, because portals do have a bit of a influence on the show. I won't necessarily explain how or why, just for the sake of, again, spoilers. I'm trying not to spoil the show too much. And then it was just kind of shading after that, which is pretty simple. So, yeah, this right here is gonna about wrap it up, and yeah, I'll be putting this poster here on my DeviantArt. I think I can make it to where you could buy prints. I might do that, actually. That would be pretty cool. I don't know. I'll mess around and see if I actually can do that. I think that's a thing I can do through DeviantArt, but I'm not 100% sure. So, you know, you'd have to check it there. Anyways, thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one that I make. Bye.